is getting up there and has a habit of just kind of saying what she shouldn't say, just speaking her mind. Well, the same goes for you when talking to your parent or when you're talking to your partner. And here with ways to fix that oops is marriage and family therapist Amy Hachquet. Amy, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
You know what? It sounded like you were talking about my grandmother because she just rolled it right off. Whatever crossed her mind, crossed her lips, and she said it. But that's not always the best rule of thumb.
It's not. You know, these missteps, they're instances relationally where something has gone wrong. And it's a horrible feeling inside when you know that you've offended someone else or when they've offended you. And our tendency is to bury our head in the sand and pretend that it didn't happen. And usually what occurs is things will stay the same or they'll get worse. So I encourage everyone to approach conflict resolution boldly and courageously because this applies to all of us. So there's some tips to keep in mind for that.
The first one is timing.
Timing, absolutely. So initiate that repair in a timely manner.
Okay, gotcha.
Especially for adults, we have a tendency to hang on to things. Things will start brewing and simmering. That resentment will build. So then you're dealing with all of those feelings plus the issue you're trying to repair, and that is not a helpful combination.
And it doesn't help the relationship grow. Okay, so what's the second tip?
State the problem clearly and own your part. Make sure when you're initiating this dialogue that you're on the same page. You know, I'll have couples come into my office. They have decided to speak about one do-over issue, and then we're talking about missteps from the previous 2, 4, or 5 years. So state the issue so you're on the same page, and then own the part that you're responsible for, because typically it is something that we have said or something that we have done. So validate that, own that, take responsibility for it.
And what's your third tip?
Okay, well, we knew this one was coming, right? So we've got to make that apology. Those little words, I'm sorry, will you forgive me? So we have to humble ourselves enough and let, as you've said before, let the ego go enough.
And you don't, Amy, you don't apologize to someone and then make an excuse. You just apologize and let it go, right? I hate when people do that. Just say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to hear the excuse.
Absolutely. The apology needs to be genuine. So say I'm sorry and just let it sit for a minute.
And let that person feel it. Okay, so the last one you say, ask yourself, what can I do or not do to make things better?
State the changes you plan to make and follow through. So think about it for a minute. What can I do or not do to improve the situation? And then discuss that with the person that you're speaking to, because they may have some insight that we haven't yet considered.
And all relationships, you know, even if it's one with your grandmother, it does, to me, I think it's worth it to stop and say, you know, I know you've been doing this all your life and all my life, but that stuff kind of hurts. And I wish you wouldn't do it. It's okay to say that to someone who's maybe, you know, the matriarch or patriarch of the family. It still hurts no matter who they are.
Absolutely. Sometimes we need to seek that repair even if we were the ones who were actually hurt and offended. It's okay to own your own feelings and express those as well. And that's the mark of a healthy relationship.
I love that. And you know what? There are going to be a whole bunch of family get-togethers, family reunions. There are going to be barbecues and stuff. So this stuff becomes really important. So hopefully that helped a lot of our viewers out. Thank you so much, Amy.
You're
Good
welcome.
to see you again.
You too.